Hello, shining stars. A very warm welcome in your learning buddies Aprajita's class, the English class. I hope you all are ready to start a new chapter with me. So here I am with your English textbook, Language Odyssey, Class 8 by Knowledge Series, Amit Publishing House. So children, here we start with chapter number 9 today. And the chapter is the palindrome. क्या होता है ये palindrome? Have you ever heard of this word palindrome? Palindrome is a word or a sequence or a phrase which can be spelled in the same way backward or forward. जैसा कि आप बोलेंगे वर्ड को उल्टा बोले या सीधा बोले, वो सेम ही साउंड करता है. I'll give you one example here. Just one example of palindrome, and after that we'll start with the lesson, children. Just look at this word, M-A-D-A-M, madam, madam. You spell from the side M-A-D-A-M, madam, and here, जब उल्टा पढ़ेंगे M-A-D-A-M, madam. So this is known as palindrome. Okay, children? Now, let's start the chapter and read more about this palindrome through this story. Okay? Now, about the story. What's there in this story? Let's read it first. This is a story about Tenali Raman by Umar Raman. Umar Raman has written this story about Tenali Raman. Tenali Raman was a fun-loving young boy who also loved to make fun of others. Tenali Raman एक young लड़का था, उसके बारे में ही है स्टोरी में, और he was very fun-loving, लेकिन वो दूसरों का भी मजाक करता था. A goddess cursed him due to his unacceptable behavior. Then, how he changed a curse into a boon by his wit. Let's read the story. एक गॉडेस ने आके उनको क्या किया था? कर्स दिया था. कर्स क्या होता है? श्राप. उनके इसी अनएक्सेप्टेबल बिहेवियर की वजह से, जो दूसरों का भी मजाक बनाते थे, लेकिन कैसे उन्होंने अपने विजडम से उस कर्स को भी, उस श्राप को भी बून में टर्न कर दिया, वरदान में बदल दिया. पढ़ते हैं हम इस चैप्टर में. लेट्स स्टार्ट द चैप्टर हियर. Once upon a time in a village in South India lived a boy called Tenali Raman. Raman was a very clever and good-looking boy, but he got on everyone's nerves. Tenali Raman, South India में एक विलेज था, वहाँ पे एक बॉय रहता था जिसका नाम था तेनाली रमन. He was very good-looking और बहुत अच्छा दिखने में था, क्लेवर भी था, चतुराई भी थी उसमें, लेकिन got on everyone's nerves means irritated everyone. सबको irritate कर देता था अपने behavior से. He was always playing pranks or making fun of people. वो लोगों के ऊपर pranks करता था और उनका मजाक भी करता था. He was quite irreverent and would even mock the elders of the village. Irreverent means किसी को respect नहीं, किसी की इज्जत नहीं करता था, और जो बड़े लोग थे विलेज के, उनकी नकल करता. Now, elders who take themselves and their position seriously do not like to be made fun of. जो बड़े लोग होते हैं, जो अच्छे पोजीशंस पे होते हैं, वो अपना ऐसा मजाक उड़ते हुए नहीं देख सकते. They decided that something had to be done about Raman. अब उन्होंने सोचा कि इसका कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा इस लड़के. They caught hold of Raman's mother and warned her that her son would come to a sticky end if she did not take him in hand. Come to a sticky end means get into a difficult situation. एक दिन उन बड़े जो एल्डर्स थे विलेज के, उन्होंने उसकी मदर को बोला कि अगर तुमने अपने इस बच्चे को, अपने बेटे को तुमने स्ट्रिक्टली डील नहीं किया, उसको ठीक नहीं किया, उसके साथ स्ट्रिक्ट नहीं हुई, तो फिर एक दिन कभी ऐसा आएगा कि वो एक डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन में फंस जाए. He could not go around making a mockery of everything. They warned her that if he went on like that, he would be sent away from the village. उसकी मदर को विलेज के एल्डर्स ने ये भी बोला कि वो सबका ऐसा मजाक नहीं बना सकता है, बड़े लोगों का ऐसा मजाक नहीं बना सकता है, और अगर वो ऐसा करता रहा तो उसको विलेज से बाहर निकाल दिया जाएगा, गांव से बाहर निकाल दिया जाएगा. The poor lady did not know what to do. Raman did not take anything seriously. अब रामन तो कोई चीज सीरियसली लेता ही नहीं था, वो तो हमेशा मजाक करता रहता था. Nor did he take an interest in any kind of occupation. ना ही वो कोई काम करना चाहता. After months of general reprimands and attempts at persuading Raman to turn over a new leaf, she got really fed up. उसके साथ बहुत अच्छे से उसको समझा के और उसके साथ थोड़ा अपने आप को चेंज करने के लिए उसको कहा, उसकी मदर ने बहुत अच्छे से उसको प्यार से समझाया कि जिससे कि वो थोड़ा सा अपने बिहेवियर में चेंज लाए, लेकिन रमन नहीं बना. She found a holy man who was a teacher and sent Raman off to study with him. अब उसकी मदर को, रमन की मदर को एक होली मैन दिखा और उसने क्या किया, रमन को उनके साथ पढ़ने के लिए भेज दिया. Maybe he will teach you something useful, she said. Don't come back till you have learned enough to earn your living. अब रमन को उन्होंने बोला, उसकी मदर ने, कि हो सकता है ये जो होली मैन जिनके साथ मैं तुम्हें भेज रही हूँ ये तुम्हें कुछ अच्छा सिखा सके, और तब तक वापस नहीं आना जब तक तुम कमाना नहीं सीख जाओ, कुछ कमाने न लगो. So Raman went off to study. Now Raman was actually quite good at his lessons when his mind was occupied. He even forgot to play pranks. His teacher was very pleased with him. अब रमन जब पढ़ना शुरू किया, उसने उसका दिमाग पढ़ने में लग गया तो वो बहुत अच्छा बन गया. अब उसको प्रैंक्स करना भी याद नहीं रहता था, किसी का मजाक बनाना भी याद नहीं रहता था. उसके जो टीचर थे वो बहुत खुश थे. Finally, one day the teacher told Raman, "Well, I've taught you all I can. Now you must go out into the world and seek your fortune." अब एक दिन उसके टीचर ने बोला कि रमन को कि मैं तुम्हें वो सब कुछ पढ़ा चुका हूँ जो चाहिए था, जरूरी था, अब तुम बाहर जाओ, निकलो इस वर्ल्ड में, देखो क्या क्या होता है और अपना फॉर्चून खुद बनो. But said Raman, I still do not know what I can do for a living. How will I face my mother? रमन ने बोला, लेकिन अभी तक मुझे ये नहीं पता कि मैं कमाऊंगा कैसे, अपना लिविंग कैसे अर्न करूंगा. What can I do for my living? क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं अपनी मदर को कैसे फेस करूंगा, क्योंकि उन्होंने तो कहा था जब तक कमाना ना सीख जाओ, अपने लिए अर्न करना ना सीख जाओ, वापस नहीं आना. His teacher then taught him a mantra and told him to recite it at the nearby temple 3 million times. जब रमन ने ये पूछा अपने टीचर से, तो उन्होंने उसको बोला कि मैं तुम्हें एक मंत्र सिखाता हूँ, उसको एक पास में ही टेम्पल है, महामंदिर है, वहां पे जाके बैठ के 3 million times बोलो उस मंत्र. If you concentrate and recite it sincerely, he said, the goddess with her 1,000 heads will reveal herself to you. If you remain unafraid, you can ask her for a boon. Ask her to guide you about what occupation you can take up in life. अब उसकी टीचर ने बोला, इस होली मैन ने, कि तुम ये 3 million times इस मंत्र को रिसाइट करोगे जब, तो जो गॉडेस हैं जिनके 1000 हेड्स हैं वो खुद तुम्हारे सामने प्रकट हो जाएंगी, और अगर तुम डरे नहीं उनसे तो उनको उनसे एक वरदान मांगना और उनसे पूछना कि वो तुम्हें गाइड करें कि तुम क्या कर सकते हो अपनी जिंदगी. So the next day Raman got up early, bathed in the river and wore new clothes. Then he went home and brought a plate of offerings with a coconut, some bananas, betel leaves and nuts, joss sticks, a string of sweet-smelling jasmine and a lump of fragrant camphor. अब नेक्स्ट डे रमन उठा, उसने नहाया वो, और नहाने के बाद अच्छे नए कपड़े पहने और फिर घर जाके ऑफरिंग की प्लेट, जैसे पूजा की थाली आप लगाते हैं जब मंदिर जाते हैं, तो उसमें उसने कोकोनट रखा, कुछ बनानास रखे, कुछ बीटल लीव सुपारी के पत्ते वो रखे और स्वीट स्मेलिंग जैस्मिन फूल रखे एंड कपूर भी रखे. He then set off to recite the mantra at the temple. और फिर वो टेम्पल में चला गया मंत्र रिसाइट करने. बोलो. He stood in front of the deity at the temple and began chanting the mantra. अब मूर्ति के सामने खड़ा हुआ और वहां वो मंत्र रिसाइट किया. He concentrated and repeated the mantra as sincerely as possible. Concentration के साथ उस मंत्र को बोलता है. He concentrated so hard that he did not notice that it had turned dark or that the temple priest had locked up the shrine and gone home. वो इतना कंसंट्रेशन के साथ उस मंत्र को बोल रहा था कि उसने ये भी ध्यान नहीं किया कि अंधेरा हो गया है और जो मंदिर के पुजारी हैं उन्होंने ताला लगा के वो घर चले. When Raman had chanted the mantra 3 million times, the goddess revealed herself to him in all her glory. Raman looked at her in awe, but was quiet, unafraid. अब जब वो मंत्र 3 million times उस मंत्र को रिपीट कर लिया, चैंट कर लिया रामन ने, तो वो गॉडेस खुद प्रकट हो गई उसके सामने और वो बहुत बिल्कुल हक्का बक्का होकर उनको देखने लगा, उनकी ग्लोरी को देखने लगा और वो बिल्कुल भी डरा नहीं. He moved his head from side to side as he tried to take in all her 1,000 heads. और वो बोला था ना उसके टीचर ने कि 1,000 heads वाली जो गॉडेस है वो तुम्हारे सामने आएंगी. तो उसने एक बार सिर इधर किया और इधर किया, उनके सारे हेड्स देखने के लिए. The goddess seemed quite pleased to see a mortal who was so bold and unafraid. अब वो जो गॉडेस थी वो भी खुश हो गई कि ये कितना ब्रेव है ये बच्चा. Suddenly a thought struck Raman and he burst into laughter. He laughed and laughed till tears streamed down his cheeks, and he had to hold on to one of the temple pillars for support. अचानक से क्या हुआ पता नहीं और रमन जोर जोर से हंसने लगा. इतना हंसा कि उसके आंखों से आंसू आने लगे और खुद को संभालने के लिए उसको एक पिलर को पकड़ना पड़ा टेम्पल. The goddess was stunned for a moment. अब जो गॉडेस थी वो बिल्कुल आश्चर्यचकित हो गई. She had never seen a mortal who was not only not terror struck by her form but also had the temerity to laugh at her. अब उन्होंने कभी भी ऐसा कोई नहीं देखा था जो कि बिल्कुल अनअफ्रेड हो, जो कि जिसको टेरर ना हो. गॉडेस के 100,000 हेड्स को देख के कोई डरा ना हो और ऐसा भी कोई नहीं देखा था जो कि हिम्मत कर सके उनके ऊपर हंसने की. She felt quite insulted and thundered. You puny mortal! How dare you laugh at me? What do you find so funny? Now the goddess became angry and she shouted कि तुम कैसे हंस सकते हो? How can you laugh at me? और तुम्हें क्या इतना मजाकिया दिखा जो तुम इतना हंस रहे हो? Raman tried to control himself and finally uttered these words between gusts of laughter. Now Raman ने अपनी हंसी रोकने की कोशिश की और धीरे से क्या बोला? I was just wondering, he gasped. What do you do when you have a cold? We mortals find it so difficult with one nose and 2 hands. How on earth do you manage with the thousands of runny nose? Up, he again came back in his own form like he used to do pranks on people and used to make fun of the people. उसने क्या पूछा गॉडेस से कि हम एक नोज लेके, जब हमारा रनी नोज होता है तो हम उसको संभालने में हमें मुश्किल होती है. एक नोज और 2 हाथों को लेके आप इतने सारे thousands of रनी नोज कैसे संभालते हैं? The goddess was furious. She raised all her 1,000 heads up and looked down haughtily at Raman. Now, क्योंकि अब गॉडेस का मजाक बनाया था रमन ने, so goddess was very angry. और उन्होंने रमन की तरफ देखा और क्या बोली? Because you have dared to laugh at me, she cursed. You'll earn your living as a jester. Avika tavi kavi. Avika tavi kavi. She said this as a jester. Jester means who makes others laugh. दूसरों को हंसाता है. तो ये कर्ज दिया उन्होंने रामन को कि तुम अपना जो लिविंग अर्न करोगे, जिसके लिए वो गया था, ये पूछना था उसको कि मैं कैसे अपनी अर्निंग कर सकता हूँ, उसी का आंसर गॉडेस ने क्या दिया कि यू विल अर्न योर लिविंग एज अ जेस्टर. Avika tavi kavi. This is the occupation I give you. और ये ऑक्यूपेशन मैं तुम्हें देती हूँ, तुम इसी से अर्न करो. Raman, however, was not upset. Now, Raman तो अपसेट हुआ ही नहीं. Raman को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी. He said, "Oh, that's great." He said, "That is an interesting occupation." ये तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग ऑक्यूपेशन है जो आपने बताया अभी. Whichever way you say it, it's a palindrome. Vikata vikavi. Vikata kavi. Now see children, palindrome, जैसा मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि palindrome, what is a palindrome? कोई भी phrase या कोई भी sequence जो कि आप forward बोलते हैं या backward बोलते हैं, it's the same. Now look here, I'll tell you. Vika cha kavi. Vika cha kavi. Vika cha kavi. And when you say this backward, Vika cha kavi, it's the same. It reads the same left to right and right to left. Now this curse also couldn't move Raman. Raman was not afraid of this curse too. उसको तो ये बहुत अच्छा लगा. The goddess was amazed at Raman's wit. That made him see a joke even in a curse. एक कर्स में भी जो कर्स किया था गॉडेस ने, उसमें भी रामन को वरदान ही दिखा. उनको कोई श्राप नहीं दिखाई दे रहा था उसमें. गॉडेस was really amazed to see this. She was a little mollified. She was little mollified. Mollified means less angry, more upset. Okay? Was less angry and upset. Okay. Now the goddess, by seeing this, was उनका anger कुछ कम हुआ, वो upset भी कम हुई थोड़ा सा, and said, "Well, since you have such a sense of humor, you'll be a jester at the court of the king and will make a name for yourself." Now, when the goddess saw that उनका curse भी as a boon लिया है रामन ने, तो उन्होंने क्या बोला कि as you have such a sense of humor, आप में इतना sense of humor है, तो तुम जेस्टर बनोगे किसके? जेस्टर किसके? कोर्ट में, किंग के कोर्ट में जेस्टर बने. And that is exactly what happened. Raman went on to become a court jester to the king Krishnadev Raya of Vijayanagar. वो विजयनगर के जो राजा थे कृष्णदेव राय, उनके कोर्ट के जस्टर. Fine children, and you all must have heard about Tenali Raman. Tenali Raman की stories भी आपने पढ़ी होंगी. So this story has been written by Uma Raman. Fine, I hope you enjoyed the story. Yes. So see how Tenali Raman was so positive in all the things. He found all the positive things. Even if he had faced a negative situation, such a negative situation was there in front of him, he found something positive out of it. और palindrome भी आपको समझ में आ गया क्या होता है? Now, in a nutshell, what we have read in this chapter, the presence of mind can change the negative situation into positive one. Yes, as I said, कि negative situation को भी तेनाली रामन ने positive में change कर दिया, just because of his presence of mind. We should never make fun of others. Yes, it was Tenali Raman. उनका wit था, उनका wisdom था, he was clever. तो उन्होंने उस negative situation को positive में change कर दिया. But children, every time it doesn't happen, and you should never make fun of others. दूसरों का मजाक कभी नहीं बनाना चाहिए. Because maybe some time comes when people start making fun of you too. Then how do you feel? Okay. So now children, let's move ahead with our testing time. Okay, take the correct options. Raman was a dash boy, very clever, good looking, both A and B, none of these. He was very clever also, he was good looking also. So tick kahan karenge aap? C pe, both A and B. Raman did not take dash seriously. His teachers, his mother, anything, none of these. Raman did not take anything seriously. कुछ भी seriously नहीं लेता. Fine. The next is Raman had chanted the mantra dash times. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, or none of these. He had chanted the mantra 3 million times. उसको उसके टीचर ने बोला था कि ये मंत्र 3 million times chant करो. So take C part. Raman became a dash to the king Krishnadev Raya. A minister, soldier, court jester, none of these. He became court jester. So children, now fill in the blanks. The dash lady did not know what to do. The poor lady did not know what to do. She found a holy man who was a, क्या थे वो holy man? He was a teacher, and sent Raman off to study with him. His teacher then taught him a dash and told him to recite it. क्या सिखाया था? A mantra. And told him to recite it at the nearby temple. How many times? 3 million times. 3 million times. The goddess was dashed for a moment. The goddess was amazed for a moment. She cursed, "You will earn your living as a jester." J-E-S-C. J-E-S-T-E-R. Raman went on to become a court jester to the king. Who was the king? Krishnadev Raya. Krishnadev Raya of Vijayanagar. Okay, children? So, now make sentences using the words given below. Come into sticky end. Come into sticky end means to get into problem. Okay, to get into a difficult situation. So, make a sentence out of this. Don't do anything which makes you come into a sticky end. Don't play pranks. Play such pranks. So that you come into sticky end. Okay? Camphor. Camphor. What is camphor? कपूर को बोलते हैं camphor. So, my mother took camphor to the temple with the offerings. Offerings के साथ मेरी mother camphor भी OFFERINGS offerings लेके. So the next one is irreverent. A sentence with irreverent. She had an irreverent attitude towards education. Fine. Now, had the temerity means very bold, to be very bold. He had the temerity to laugh in front of the teacher. He had the temerity to laugh in front of the teacher. Okay. The last one is take him in hand, means just try to improve him. So take him in hand. The teacher told to take him in hand. The teacher told about some student. It's about some student or some child. The teacher told the mother to take Ram in hand. The teacher told Raja's mother to take him in hand. Fine, children. So these were some of the words with which we have made sentences. Now answer the following brief questions. Briefly explain the nature of Tenali Raman as a boy. Tenali Raman as a young boy was very clever and very good looking too. But his nature was, he was very witty, but he always used to play pranks on others and made fun of others too. How did the elders of the village try to catch hold over Tenali Raman? To catch hold over Tenali Raman, they caught hold over his mother and told her to take care of Tenali Raman and try to improve him, or else they would have to send him out of the village if he doesn't improve and if he doesn't stop making fun of the elders. Whom did mother send Tenali Raman with and why? Tenali Raman's mother sent Tenali Raman with a holy saint who was a teacher, and she sent him with the teacher so that he could complete his studies and he could become a good person and stop doing the mischiefs which he used to do, and he should learn something good and how to earn his living. What did the teacher tell Tenali Raman as to please the goddess? The teacher told Tenali Raman that he would give him a mantra which he had to go and recite in the temple for 3 million times so that the goddess is pleased and she reveals herself in front of Tenali Raman and he could ask a boon for him. Why was the goddess amused by Tenali Raman? Goddess was amused by Tenali Raman by seeing that when Tenali Raman saw the goddess in front of him having thousands of heads, he was not at all afraid of by seeing her. Vikatakavi is a palindrome. How? Vikatakavi is a palindrome because if we spell it in a forward movement, it is Vikatakavi, and if we spell it backward, it is also the same. It is Vikatakavi. So this is a palindrome because the palindrome spells the same. Either we speak forward or we speak backward, right or left. It is the same. Fine, children? So this was all about Tenali Raman, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson thoroughly. So stay excited for the clamp of next video. We'll meet again with a new chapter. Till then, stay blessed, stay happy, and keep learning children. Bye.